Most upper body workouts for volleyball players are completely disconnected from what's actually happening in an arm swing. This workout that I'm about to show you uses a completely different approach, and one of the exercises might be the single most important thing you can do to hit harder. I'm going to walk you through a complete upper body speed and power workout for volleyball players. All of the exercises, the sets, the reps, and exactly which one translates to a more powerful arm swing on the court. Really quick, my name is Greg Hersig, also known as the Volleyball Strength Coach. I'm a former D1 opposite with a master's degree in sports performance, and my team and I have helped train over 1,000 volleyball players to jump higher, hit harder, and stay healthy well past 25. This is one of the upper body workouts I'm currently using personally and with some of my athletes, and it's got at least one exercise in here I guarantee you've never seen paired with volleyball training before. So keep an open mind, and I think you're gonna like it. Quick note, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I drop volleyball specific workouts like this every single week, and drop me a comment below. Do you currently have an upper body training routine specifically designed for volleyball? And I wanna know where you're at. So getting into it, today we have a bit of a different warm up, and it's something I call the hitting position ISOs. Overall, there are 4 different ISOs that we have in this group, and today we're just going to look at 2 of them. The first one, which I call hitting position ISO 1, helps with your coiling core and your contact point strength. You can see how I have a staggered stance with one arm reaching really high, like I'm contacting a volleyball at its peak, and the other arm is coiled at the hip, acting to activate the lat and keep that short side tight. Of course, you're going to want to do this on both arms because everything that we do, we're going to want to do on both sides so we don't make our imbalances worse that we already have from playing. Hold this position for somewhere between 5 and 15 seconds on each arm. The second exercise is actually hitting position ISO 3 and is clearly working on the draw position before your arm swing. You're trying to rotate your torso as much as possible without rotating your hips and drive your elbow back as far as you can to engage the muscles of your upper back. The stronger the draw of your arm swing, the more power you get into your hit, and the better your thoracic rotation, the more power you get into your hit. So we want to work on both of those. Again, hold for 5 to 15 seconds on each side and do 2 to 3 sets of each, alternating back and forth. Next, we move on to some additional ISOs, which are actually going to act as beneficial ISO holds for the upper body and the lower body. Because we're getting ready to do these positions with some med ball throws after this, we have to incorporate the entire body as explosively as possible for the throws. So the first ISO in this group is the front side coil with a med ball, meaning that the short side of the coil is working with the front leg. So you can see that the leg that is forward, we're leaning towards that leg, coiling to that side. And then on the side where your foot is back, we're stretching through that side for the long side of our coil. You're going to hold this position for 30 seconds on each side. We're going to pair that with what's called a backside coil. The backside coil is when the short side is over the back leg. Think of a position like hitting a golf ball or hitting a baseball when you're really driving through that back hip. Although the lower body is very clearly involved, we're really focusing on activating our upper body by squeezing our hands into our ball and squeezing the lat on the short side. This helps us train that coiling position that we so often see in volleyball and connecting the oblique and lat together on that short side while stretching the entire lateral chain on the long side. Again, we're going to hold this position for 30 seconds on each side and do 2 sets of each of those ISOs. Now we're going to take those coiling positions and make them super dynamic and explosive with some medicine ball throws. Medicine ball throws of various kinds are one of my absolute favorite ways to train full body explosiveness for volleyball. Although they might not be as beneficial for vertical jump as things like jumping or sprinting or Olympic lifting, they are extremely effective for increasing upper body power and core rotational power, which is why I typically include them on upper body days, even though the lower body is very much involved. We're going to start with the front side coil where I'm working hard at really getting loaded up in that coiling position, finding my short side and my long side, and then explosively driving through the front leg so I can step hard and finish with the other leg forward. And if you notice, I'm actually finishing on a front side coil on the opposite side. You want to use a really light medicine ball and work on finding that kinetic sequencing between driving with the legs, rotating the core, and then finishing with the arms. I did 3 sets on each arm, alternating sides, and I only used a 6-pound medicine ball. The first real weight exercise for our speed and power upper body day is going to be the Landmine University push press. Again, a little bit of a full body exercise, but it has more of an upper body emphasis while you're doing it. We're still working on a front side coil with the landmine position, and so we're going to drive with the legs, explosively step forward with the back leg, and then maintain a forward intention while we're locking out with that working arm. Again, because we've been talking about the coiling core so much in this video, you can really notice how the working arm starts on the short side and then finishes on on the long side, which is going to be very similar to the way our arm swing works. I want you to work your way up to some decent weight here while still being able to feel explosive. I did 5 sets of 3 of these on each arm, increasing weight till I found something that was good. Now we do have one heavier strength movement in this workout, and that is going to be this cross bench pullover. In my opinion, this is probably the single best upper body strength exercise for hitting harder for volleyball. You can see how it very clearly resembles the patient elbow position of your arm swing as well as the follow through of the swing. It trains our lats, our pecs, and our triceps in extremely specific positions for hitting a ball for volleyball. If you're following along with this workout, this is where I want you to lift the heaviest and get 1 or 2 reps away from failure, working up to the most weight that you can do for about 5 reps. Because we want to do this workout as primarily an explosive workout, we're actually going to pair this with a mechanically similar exercise, which is going to be these lateral medicine ball slams. Now, when I say mechanically similar, I just mean an exercise that if we compare the cross bench pullover to a regular med ball slam, you can see how similar the positions are. And then I wanted to do this as a lateral medicine ball slam just because anytime I can include a little bit of core rotation, I like to do that. A really important part of these lateral med ball slams is your body sequencing, making sure that you initiate in the correct order. So you start with your legs, then you go to your hips, then you go to your core, then you go to your arm. And again, you want to make sure that the ball is relatively light so you can be explosive. One of the biggest issues I see with people doing any kind of medicine ball slam or throws, like I said before, is that they go way too heavy, which causes them to use their arms too much in the throw. They're not getting the sequencing benefit of really using their hips and core to drive the movement into their arms. I'm only using 5 pounds for this, and I probably wouldn't go much heavier than 8 to 10 pounds ever. And I did 3 reps on each side of this for 5 total sets. Like I said in my last upper body video, I always like to end on something really dynamic, even though the majority of this workout has been rather dynamic. So I went out to my yard and I did these rope flow arm swings. You're probably going to have to watch quite a bit of this, and I promise it does take a little bit of practice, but you can see how I'm really focused on sequencing as similar to an arm swing as possible. The one thing that most people are going to feel the weirdest with is having that rope swing behind your head, because having an object behind your head like that is pretty abnormal, and you only really get into positions like that with things like halos, mace swings, or club swings. And I know for me, it took a long time to get comfortable with that shoulder position back behind the head. I start this movement by facing to the side and getting some momentum so I can get that rope up behind my head. And once the rope is behind my head, I rotate my hip forward to create that hip-shoulder separation. Then my shoulder follows through, and then I maintain that patient elbow. And once my shoulders are all the way through, I extend my elbow and swing down across my body. Now, the key here is to let that rope swing a full loop across your body before you bring it back to the other side. And that's going to create the momentum that gets you directly into your next swing. And so you can see I'm swinging with my left hand because I am left-handed. So I turn to my left. Then I turn my left hip forward, I swing to my right side, I let the momentum of the rope carry it back over to my left, and then that allows me to get the rope going again back behind my head and continue on to my next swing. You're going to want to start this really slowly, but as you start to get the pattern down, you can start to speed things up and work on some of the finer technical points like the hip rotation, the hip and shoulder separation, the patient elbow, and then the power and speed you put into the swing. And that right there is your full upper body speed and power workout. We've got the hitting position ISOs, the coiling ISOs, med ball throws, landmine push press, cross bench pullover, lateral med ball slams, and then finally the rope flow arm swings. If you train these consistently, you're going to start feeling a real difference in your arm swing. You're going to be more explosive, you're going to have better sequencing, and you're going to have that kind of power that actually transfers to the court. I really appreciate you making it this far in the video. Now drop a comment down below and tell me which one of these exercises was new to you, because I read every single comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next workout, because I do post volleyball specific training every single week. And if you want all of this structured in a complete program built specifically for you, then click the link down in the description. That's the application for our one-on-one online coaching, where my team and I build you a fully custom workout program. We handle your nutrition. We get on live calls with you so you can jump higher, hit harder, and stay healthy as a volleyball player over 25. The second link is for our workout membership, and that includes 9 pre-built volleyball specific training plans that you can start immediately. See you in the next one.